ewe futu Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markins wo de afutu mani nuanom brahwebedwafo nyina se obi wodom kese ana edonkuma na fa ne hia won kamom no ma sumdwe mapa enye adwuma na empuntu enkoso brahwebedwam adwumam.
The very few that come to mind for this purpose, Mr. Speaker, they made their name. If you go into Hansard, you will see the very great contributions they made to enrich our democracy and make Parliament attractive. Mr. Speaker, even now in this House, if you hear the voice of great men like Honorable Eric Opoku, our leader, Honorable Cheme Sabonsu, our first Deputy Speaker, Joe Osewusu, Mr. Speaker, their contributions leave you in no doubt that indeed this House is made of substance. Mr. Speaker, we have great advocates on this House floor who make their contributions, and I believe the time has come for us to compliment them and urge them on. So, Speaker, on a day like this, I want members to join me in celebrating the greatness of these patriots of our country.
Because, Mr. Speaker, a number of times as politicians, we say one thing and we try to do another thing. And I agree with him with almost all the points that he raised. And one of the things that I have said on the floor of this House, Mr. Speaker, is that why do we wait for one of us to be dead, and then when he's dead, then we come to this House to eulogize him or her? Why don't you cultivate the habit of eulogizing our living heroes, colleagues who have really contributed to the development of this Parliament?
I want to suggest that we may probably have to institute a day like this where we will celebrate and recognize the rich contributions that members of Parliament have contributed to the growth of Parliament as an institution and the jurisprudence of legislation itself. We may have to find a day. I recall the former Right Honorable Okray had suggested the institution of an award for deserving members of Parliament. I don't know how this thing fizzle out. Probably leadership may have to engage further. That will be a source of encouragement for this House, for us to also put ourselves in readiness to reach the mark and also distinguish ourselves and lead and serve with true sense of credibility. It is appalling for you to see a fellow member of this House exiting and living a life of squalor and deprivation. Some of them exiting this House could not even take care of their own medical expenses. Some of them die in a very horrible state. Some of them will say, whilst we are working. Right now, Speaker, the demands on members of Parliament makes it extremely difficult for members of Parliament to sit down and critically do the right savings or pension schemes to be able to take care of them. In fact, when they have even exited this House, there are still pressures on them because the people on the ground there do not know the difference between a retired MP and a sitting MP. They will still come to you with their problems. So it is important that as we reflect on our contributions in this House, we must also start taking account of the life after this House and see what meaningful mechanism can we put in place to at least cushion members who exit this House and take on life after here.